As another simulation example, I want to develop a model of a retirement account. And I want to go ahead and start with the savings account example from the previous video, wherein there was in fact an initial principal deposited in the savings account at a specified interest rate, and the time variable is there simply to get the units to work out right. The principal is in dollars, time is in years, and the flow itself is in dollars per year, so that when the simulation runs, the dollars per year turns into dollars. With a initial $1,000 deposit and a 5% interest rate, which I realize it's not realistic in today's environment, but maybe over a 40-year period, 5% would be reasonable. So that the model is extended to run over a period of 40 years and on 1-year increments. So if we go ahead and run the model at this point, it shows that the principal, which initially starts out at $1,000, grows to about $6,700 over a 40-year period of time, which is definitely not enough to retire on. So taking this initial model, we go ahead and we elaborate or evolve the model to add additional dimensions to it. The first one being that seldom does a real savings account or retirement account accrue interest on an annual basis. It's usually a monthly basis. So we go ahead and we take the interest rate and we turn it into a monthly interest rate, simply dividing it by the number of months per year. Time is still a units value, and this will present essentially the same result as the previous model, a little bit more because it's being compounded monthly as opposed to annually. The other addition was to go ahead and add a deposits feature so that you could specify that there are periodic deposits added to the account in addition to it growing based upon the interest every month. So if we say that in this particular situation we go ahead and we'll add a $100 deposit to the retirement account every month to see what kind of an impact that has on the result. So if we run that again over the same 40-year time period, we notice that now the result is more like $148,000. So the addition of a small amount of money on a periodic basis has a very substantial impact to the result over that period of time. The next evolution in the model is to go ahead and say that, all right, at some period of time we expect to retire and we want to begin to withdraw money from the retirement account. Why did I call this savings account? This is supposed to be retirement account. Hold on. Retirement account. If I don't fix it now, I'll probably not remember. RETIRE, retirement account, part 3. At some point in time, I want to come back. I want to retire and start drawing money out of the account. So we've added a withdrawal flow from the principal and an amount for the withdrawal and an indication of when we want to start doing that withdrawal. And at the point in time that we start doing the withdrawal, we'll in fact also stop making deposits to the retirement account. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense to draw money out of it and put money into it every month. So we'll start out and we'll go ahead and say that, and we also extend the runtime of the model to 720 months, which is 60 years. So if you assume that you started the retirement account and depositing money when you were 20, you could retire at 60, and you then want to say, okay, suppose that that I draw $1,000 a month out of this retirement account once I reach the age of 60, how does it look over the next 20 months? So if I go ahead and run this, it now shows me that over the first 480 months, the amount of money in the retirement account continues to grow, and then I've stopped putting money into it. It's still getting interest on a monthly basis based upon the principal, though I'm drawing money out of it at a rate of $1,000 a month. So it says that if I draw $1,000 a month out of it for 20 years, I'll still have $38,000 left in it, which means I have a few more months to go, about 38 of them, I guess, which is a couple more years. So if you expect to live beyond 80, then either you have to draw less money. So if I decided that I was in fact only going to withdraw $800 a month, and let me go ahead and change this and say, let me add another 10 years to it, which is another 120 months. That's 840. And let me run this again. So still it will continue to grow the same initial 480 months, and then it will begin to decline because I'm taking money out of it. So now when I've been taking $800 a month out of it, when I reach age 90, it still has $66,000 in it. So maybe I could take out $900 a month and still have money when I reach the age of 90. So the idea is that you can in fact interact with the parameters of the model and run it and see what the implications of the interactions are. And since this down here has gone negative, I got a feeling that I ran out of money. Yeah, it's actually negative. Not too much, maybe $1,000 or so. But so the part of what I wanted you to sense here also, in addition to the fact that this was a retirement account model, is that so that you don't get yourself wrapped around the axle and get lost in the nightmare. If you develop the smallest possible model that you can that actually works, and then you build on it piece by piece, and every time as you go, you actually test it along the way, so that at each stage you have a completely workable model. It's not complete in any sense, but it's completely workable. And the nice thing about Insight Maker is that when you get to a point, you can then say duplicate this insight. It will create you a new one that you can work with and evolve, knowing that the one that was working is still there and you haven't impacted it in any way. And if things go completely south, you can throw the new one away and go back to the previous one and duplicate it again and start over again. And if you finally get to a point where you no longer need all of the historical versions, you can then go back and delete the older versions and just keep the current one. So this has been the evolution of a retirement account in 3 parts, and hope you found it of interest and somewhat useful. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.